Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back into another episode to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. And of course, I'm joined by my good buddy here, Mythic AZ. We're going to be doing a predicting the top 10 of the NFL draft. And because we are, less than 3 weeks away right now from the first of the NFL draft, we're definitely very, very excited. But of course, how are you doing, Mythic? How's your day going?
Cannot complain. Super just slow for the NFL. There's not much to cover. It's for both of us, I'm assuming. There's not much to talk about. So you guys probably haven't seen my face in a while. This is the first time I showed face in probably like 2 days. But it's good to be back on the pod. Cannot complain. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty good too, and I agree with you. I mean, in terms of like Cardinals news, there's not really much out there. There's not really much going on. Obviously, we can speculate. We can talk about the big names that are being visited by the Arizona Cardinals. But like we got top 30 visits, and we got 2 picks in the 30. Right? So realistically, like we got the Cardinals going to pick one of these guys, right? Or two of these guys here in the first round. So like I get a lot of people are excited about, today we're going to be meeting with Chop Robinson. I don't know if you heard that, but Chop Robinson, and we're also going to be meeting with Roma Dunze. And I think it was confirmed by Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network. So like that's cool to talk about and all, but like we only got 2 picks. So, that's really kind of the extent of the news that's been going on. But what are your thoughts on, I guess, the big bombshell news that happened last week? We got Stephon Diggs getting traded over to the Houston Texans. What are your thoughts on that before we talk about the top 10, predicting top 10 picks?
Jeez, Stephon Diggs is something. I mean, people within Arizona wanted to trade for him. I saw our fan base when he wore that T-shirt with the Cardinal on it. We're like preaching. I'm like, man, stay away. It just seems like a locker room cancer, but like his talent on the field is crazy.
Yeah.
And I feel like with some stability in Houston, I feel like he'll be all right. I really do. Maybe it'll be for like 2 seasons. It'll be like a 2-3 year stint again until he blows up. But you get CJ Stroud another weapon. They're going all in. The Texans overall as a roster is put together fantastically. So whoever their GM is and D'Amico Ryan, shout out to him because that is the fastest rebuild I think I've ever seen in my life. Going from one of the worst teams in the NFL to playoffs, winning a playoff game, and now you legitimately have a terrifying roster with a rookie quarterback. This is what the Cardinals tried to do. But that team is young. That team is young, which we were not. We had like a 1-2 year window.
Yeah.
And then we had that nice first year and then everything crashed. But I like the trade. I don't mind it. It's a second round pick. It's not the worst. And they did get capital back. I think they got like a fifth and a sixth, which is kind of crazy to unload that.
It is. It is really crazy. I don't understand it from the Bills' perspective, but I think what they try to do is just get rid of Stephon Diggs. I've been kind of listening into a lot of Bills content creators, media, and seeing like exactly like what was the thought process. And I believe most people are saying the fact that like he was just kind of a cancer at the end of the day, and they kind of wanted to just get rid of him from the locker room. I mean, if you're accepting what you accepted, I mean, it kind of makes sense in terms of, why you accepted what you accepted, but it's wild. It's really wild, but, good for him. He's now found his way over to the Houston Texans, where he's now got a new quarterback in CJ Stroud to get the ball to him, hopefully, fingers crossed. Right. So, yeah, let's dive into some NFL content that we are all excited about. Like right now, we are sitting on April the 8th. We got less than 3 weeks away. This Thursday is going to be 2 weeks away from the first of the NFL draft. So super, super excited. Let's talk about this here real quick. I think we don't got anything else, right? Is there anything else that you want to kind of bring up in terms of NFL news that you want to kind of like discuss, or you just want to get jumped right into the predicting top 10?
I don't think much has happened outside of the Stephon Diggs trade. I think that's like it. And it was a major one, but like that's about it. Nothing else is shaken up. Everyone's kind of prepped for the draft, kind of got those free agents they got, and now it's like, it's time. It's time to dive in, get younger, bring these talent in. Fortunate for us, we got 2 first-round picks, so I'm excited. Let's get this thing started, man.
Perfect. All right. Well, let's get started here. Let's talk about the first overall pick. I think most people can agree with this as well. And if you don't, then okay, cool. That's fine. But let's talk about the first overall pick. We got the Chicago Bears on the clock here. Who do you think is going to go to the Chicago Bears?
This is probably the easiest pick in the entire draft. It's got to be Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams is meeting with the Bears. They brought Quavo over for a team dinner. They're still trying to pitch like they don't have the first overall pick. Like they're pitching to this guy, like they don't have the ability just to take him. Like Caleb Williams is a Chicago Bear. They traded Justin Fields. You better enjoy Chicago, Caleb, because that's where you're going. Quarterback purgatory.
It's so wild because like I still remember a lot of the people that were coming on our streams or just my streams or your streams or just like fan base in general, like how everybody was so against the idea of Caleb Williams. And I get it, like they're trying to back their quarterback in Justin Fields, but like it's obvious now, right? Like they're going to go quarterback, and if it's not Caleb Williams, I think most of the NFL feels like it's I guess they messed up, or they're going to be a team or an organization to be laughed at, because this seems to be the consensus number one quarterback. And he seems to be the only, or Chicago Bears seems to be the only team that has met with Caleb Williams so far. Right. It makes sense. They're the first overall. So I agree with you. I do think it's going to be Caleb Williams here at the number one overall pick. It's definitely a no-brainer. Let's talk about number two. Let's talk about the Commanders. This is going to be maybe a little bit different because to me, I think there is a better quarterback, but I do think that there's a better fit for the Commanders. But I want to allow you to go first. Who do you think the Commanders are going to go after?
I think it's tough as a Cliff Kingsbury former supporter, as a head coach, and just knowing how he plays. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I think the pick is Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
I think Jaden Daniels goes at number 2. Do I think Drake May could be better long term? I personally think that Drake May has everything for them, but at the same time, it's just Jaden Daniels just seems like the pick. I'm going off literally strictly vibes because they met with both quarterbacks, I believe.
Right.
And they both have tremendous skill sets. One of them, like their skill sets are polar opposites. Polar opposites. But at the same time, it is college. Schematically, they are running certain things. One of them has Malik Neighbors. One of them went to North Carolina.
Yeah.
So one of them has weapons. One of them doesn't have weapons. One of them's going to a massive college that's known for football, and one is a basketball school. And, I mean, the last North Carolina quarterback taken by the Commanders was Sam Howell, who got shipped out in 2 seasons. So, the stats are very similar. Play styles sort of similar. I think Drake May is better, but
yeah,
I'm just getting Jaden Daniel vibes for some reason. I think he will be the pick.
Yeah, this is a tough one because this is kind of what bounces around back in my head back and forth, right? It's like I truly think that Drake May is a better quarterback, an overall prospect. Jaden Daniels, being that he did win the Heisman, I think really, really shot him up to this level of now we're talking about top 3 quarterbacks right now. And I mean the beginning of the draft, because now we're talking about top 4 quarterbacks.
Right.
You know what I mean? And because JJ McCarthy is now kind of in the mix. So it's really, really odd to me that like it was always like before this draft talk, it was always Caleb Williams, Drake May, Caleb Williams, Drake May. That's what it was. And now after the Heisman and after, kind of now we're getting into the draft season, Jaden Daniels' name has been thrown out there with the last month and a half. But I agree with you. I think the best fit for the Commanders, or not even just the Commanders, Cliff Kingsbury. And that's a guy that we know, Cliff Kingsbury. He came out and said he loves the idea of having a mobile quarterback or guy that can kind of do it all. And this guy is pretty much, a guy that can run out of the pocket and has a pretty decent arm. I'm not going to say great, but good arm. I mean, he's pretty accurate. I've seen him a couple LSU games. You got to give him credit to where credit's due, but like he did have a lot of weapons at the end of the day. He's got a lot of weapons, but I feel like it's a better fit for the Commanders. Do you agree?
I do. And I think Jaden Daniels will progress. I feel like we saw a massive leap in this year and he won the Heisman. So, I mean,
true.
Sometimes people hit their peaks at different times. And that's why it's so hard to judge talent in the NFL, because it's like, okay, this guy ended up growing 3 inches, put on 40 pounds, and switched to edge, had a fantastic season. How can we really gauge anything? Then he breaks out in the NFL and you're like, well, didn't see that happening. It's anything can happen. But Jaden Daniels had a fantastic season, showed flashes when he was with ASU too. And then he left ASU, transferred to LSU. Everyone was hating on Jaden Daniels, came out, won the Heisman. Yeah. I think he's a phenomenal football player, and I think is the best fit if we're talking about schematically for the Commanders.
Yeah, I agree. When it comes to fit, I think we can both agree that it is going to be Jaden Daniels. All right, let's move on over to the Patriots. We got the number 3rd overall pick. This might be a little bit, I guess, a different who you're asking. But to me as QB, but I'm gonna let you go first.
It's going to be that boy Drakey Drake.
Yeah.
Drake is going for sure at number 3. Patriots need a quarterback. The top 3 literally traded their former quarterbacks last season for a reason, right? It goes 1, 2, 3. I feel like the Patriots and Commanders are both comfortable taking either Drake May or Jaden Daniels when it comes down to it. Obviously, the Commanders have the choice, but I feel like the Patriots are. It doesn't matter to them. Like you're walking away with somebody. It's got to be Drake May.
Yeah.
It's not going to be JJ McCarthy unless they want to go another Michigan quarterback, which would just shock the world. But I think it's just Drake May. Drake May has a ton of skill sets that I think I think he could have like a Josh Allen type development. He has things that need to be worked on, but brought to the NFL level, I think they can be corrected.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that when you're looking at the quarterbacks here, it almost kind of seems like he is a Patriots type of quarterback. And I get it. It's Brandon. This is not Bill Belichick anymore. And I think that's what I got to get out of my head, right? This is not Bill Belichick led Patriots anymore. And we had Patriots Global on here last week, and he said the same thing. This is different, right? But we've been so accustomed to the Patriots way for the past 20 years that it's kind of hard to get that out of our minds unless we see a Patriots without Bill Belichick, on the sidelines. Although we know for sure that if there's a brand new coach and a brand new regime over there, but like, I think it's Drake May. I don't think that you go into this season telling your fan base that we're rolling with Zappy and Jacoby Brissett this entire year. I think Jacoby Brissett would be great to start the season, but I think these Patriots fans need something to hold on to. And I think Drake May maybe sits out the whole year. You don't know, right? Maybe he does. Maybe Jacoby Brissett surprises them. But like if they have a quarterback there, and I've said this before, the main goal for most of these organizations is to not pick this high ever again. And if you don't have a quarterback or there's unknown, you got to go after a quarterback. And if Drake May is probably in people's boards top 2, you probably got to go after him. Because like I said, we picked Drake May, or we picked Jaden Daniels to the Commanders solely because we feel like it's a better fit. We don't think it's a better quarterback, or at least I don't think it's a better quarterback, but I think it's a better fit for the Commanders. So I say Drake May as well.
I like it. So we are all agreeing on the first 3 picks so far.
Yes. Let me get to these super chats here. We got my guy Michael saying Marvin Harrison Jr. Go Cards. We got my guy Deus saying alt at number 4. The ultimate weapon. K1 plus alt equals win. Tune has to add the tune on there. Okay, so now let's go over to the Arizona Cardinals. I think most people are kind of debating this amongst the fan base, and I do got something to show you as well after we talk about the Cardinals pick, but I'll let you go first.
I'm praying it is this man right here, Marvin Harrison Jr., and I think it will be. I really think it will be. I think, obviously, as a GM and everything that's coming out right now, you'd be a fool not to listen to a team offering you 3 first-round picks. Like, if Minnesota offers that, then probably accept that and then try to trade back up because 3 first-round picks is insane. So if you can get 3 first-round picks, sure. If not, this is the guy.
Yeah.
By a landslide.
Yeah, no, here's the thing. Actually, before I even say about this, there's a big debate amongst Cardinal fans right now. There's a big debate amongst Cardinal fans, and it is the fact that like there's a lot of Cardinal fans that feel like the trenches are so important that you need to address it in the first round. And I do agree that the trenches are important, and I agree that when Keim was the general manager that he's ignored the trenches for a very long time, and I think we kind of feel all some sort of way about it. But we got 2 first-round picks for a reason, right? We can address the trenches with that 27th overall pick. If not that 27th overall pick, then we also do have a very, very early second-round pick as well. So, like, it's not, to me, it doesn't have to be Joe, it doesn't have to be Olt, right? It doesn't have to be Joe Olt or Olu Fashanu at 4, and it doesn't have to be a must. To me, I feel like the Cardinals did enough this offseason to say, we don't need to focus on tackle with this very first pick. Do I think it needs to be addressed? Yeah, of course, right? Yeah. We have, 11 picks in this draft. I do feel like the Arizona Cardinals do have enough capital to go after and take a swing and get a guard and maybe get a center of the future. Because right now we have 2 years. We have 2 years of Jonah Williams and Paris Johnson Jr., right? As long as they can stay healthy, we have 2 years of them. So I don't think we need to go Joe Alt
Oh yeah,
personally.
we're good.
Yeah, I feel like this is the pick for the Arizona Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr. If you got to go after him. Now, I want to stay on this pick here. Obviously, we're Arizona Cardinal fans, so I want to make sure that we give this a little bit more love. I ended up getting somebody reaching out to me on Twitter and giving me their mock draft, and I want to get your thoughts about this mock draft specifically. And they went trench heavy. I'm not sure if you saw this, but they went trench heavy. And this is not to bag on anybody. I want to make sure that everyone's fully aware. I just want to give a different person's opinion out there. This is what they ended up telling me here. So wait, is this it? I apologize. This might not be it. 1 second. This might not be it. No, it is it. Yeah, that is it. Yeah, I apologize. It is it. Yeah. So let's go back to it here real quick. So they got the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks in this draft going either offensive line or defensive line. And then they finish off with Trey Benson here at the 90th overall pick. They got Joe Alt, Jazir Newton, which every time I do a mock draft, he's always there. I don't know why he keeps falling, but he's always there. Zach Frazier, Christian Haynes, and then Chris Jenkins. What are your thoughts on if Monty did something like this?
Oh my. It just leaves so many holes. If you're gonna go first three with especially because we just signed a bunch of defensive tackles, having those two guys just sit and paying all that money, it would leave so many question marks. Like, what do we do at corner? We have no legit corner outside of Sean Murphy-Bunting. Antonio Hamilton, I believe, signed to Atlanta. Marco Wilson no longer on the team. We have Garrett Williams and Sean Murphy-Bunting, which is cool. But who's the other outside corner at this point? You got nobody. And then receiver, I mean, we're complaining about a receiver core now. Now we have no Hollywood or Rondale Moore. Greg Dortch is wide receiver 1 at that point. So I just feel like, I don't know. I don't even think I would take Joe Old at 4. I'd have to trade back if I'm going Joe Old, personally. I'd try to trade back up 8 to 7 if that's the route you want to take.
To 7?
To like 8 to 7, somewhere around there. But probably 7. I don't know if Tennessee would fork that off, though.
Okay.
Unless you just trade back with the New York Giants and let them go get a quarterback at 4.
Right. It's fascinating, right? I love to see different people's opinions on this whole matter because, you know, at the end of the day, I think we all got opinions, right? I mean, I got opinions. Sometimes they're wrong. But I just don't know, like, if I would do something like this personally. It is just a lot of draft capital to leave so many holes. Where, like you said, in this free agency, we addressed it, right? I get there's some people out there that feel like they're mid, but you don't know. Maybe this scheme is going to come out here and make these guys shine. And here's the thing, like, we don't expect Nichols and we don't expect Justin Jones to have 10, 11 sacks. We don't expect that. We expect them to stop the run. Like, that's what they're meant to come in here for. Now, do I still want to address the defensive line? Of course. Do I still want to address the offensive line? Of course. But I don't think we need to go so heavy. In that if we do go Joel, you know, that's cool. Okay. Well, then maybe on the 27th overall, maybe get a cornerback, right? Maybe get a wide receiver if one falls to you. I think that would be a little bit more ideal for me because it's not the Joe Alt pick that bothers me. It's the fact that everything else behind it is just I don't know. It's just there's nothing to help Kyler.
The first 2 picks are like, especially for first round picks, it doesn't really address anything we need now. What are you doing with Joe Alt this season? What would you do?
Yeah.
You having Jonah Williams be a backup? Like, think about it. Why would we sign Jonah Williams if we wanted to take a tackle? Especially at 4. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. And if you want to go D1 or D tackle, you wouldn't have spent $30-something million on 2 of them. You know what I mean? You would have gotten one and then built it up that way and allowed these guys to come in. So, personally, I think the 3 positions that will be addressed, because I think we do need to address the line. Don't get me wrong.
That's
true. If there's a guard at 27, give him. You know what I mean? I mean, corner, guard, edge, whatever falls or is there, or we have to trade back up to like 20-something, I'm all for it. We need help on this team. And if we can get it, then by all means. I just don't think tackle is the position that we need right now.
But that's a fair statement there. Like, if you do get Joel, what are you going to do? Are you going to get the big splash move? Because Jonah Williams is the big splash move that we made, right? Can you agree?
Oh yeah, and you spent what is it, 2 years? Like, is it 29 mil?
Something like that. Yeah.
And it's like 19 guarantee. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's like it's a pretty hefty contract. You don't give someone that if you're just gonna go take an OT.
Right. So yeah, that's interesting. It's fascinating. I don't know. I mean, I get he's a special talent. I just don't know where it's gonna fit. I don't know where it's gonna fit at all. If we did get a Joel, I won't be mad at it. Like I said, I feel like anybody the Cardinals get, I would get accustomed to it. You know, I'll
Right?
get used to it. At the end of the day, so we'll see. Um, we'll see what happens here. So we both can agree Marvin Harrison Jr. Do you think that the Arizona Cardinals will trade back? Right now, we're sitting in April the 8th. Do you think the Arizona Cardinals will trade back? I know the rumors are still out there, but now there's also rumors saying maybe the Patriots or maybe even the Chargers might trade back. What are your thoughts?
If Marvin Harrison goes past 3, then you definitely consider it, or you definitely get out of there because there's nothing really there, in my opinion. But if we get 3 first-round picks, it's hard to look at that and not at least consider it. 3 first-round picks might be enough for me to pull the trigger on it and accept it. I'm not gonna lie. If Minnesota's like, hey, we'll give you 11, 23 and a first next year, I'm probably accepting it.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
So you're saying 11, 23 and a first next year. You're considering it
I'm
going to
definitely.
Vikings.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Would you trade back up? Is
I
that
would
the
try.
thought, or you stay at
I
11
would definitely try to trade back up to like 5 or 6.
to get maybe one of the wide receivers?
Yeah, try to give them Marvin. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Then we have 3 first-round picks this year,
Yeah.
which it's fine.
Okay.
Maybe go get Roma Dunze and then build out. Maybe Arnold if he falls from Alabama. Would not be mad.
Yeah. Okay.
It's tricky. It's tricky
So, but if we stay at 4, it's Marvin.
for sure.
Okay. All right. Let's go over to number 5. We have a lot of people debating back and forth here in the chat. Let's give some love to the chat. Let's do that here real quick. We got my guy Deus up in here. Really, uh, he's on the Joel train, and I don't blame him. Joel is probably one of the best tackles coming out of this draft, along with Olu. But I feel like Olu has dropped down, and Joel is now kind of the consensus.
Joel is my tackle one.
Yeah, let's go with Mikey. He says we need DT, OT, and guards. These guys are only signed to a 3-year contracts. Every position is on the table for the Cardinals. Sweat will fall to the 3rd after getting the DW. I believe it was yesterday, but I did hear that news as well that Tre'Davious Sweat ended up getting a DWI. Now is that a Monty's guy? Right? Is that Monty's guy? I don't know. We'll see. Monty drafts Marvin Harrison at 4 and trades up at 5 for Joe Alt. That's a big jump. Stick and pick and get Marvin Harrison. All right. Is there any of these comments that you want to kind of shine up and talk about?
If you're anti Marvin Harrison in the chat, I want to know why. Because everyone seemed like wide receiver was the problem last year. We just lost 2 of our best receivers on this team. Are we comfortable rocking Greg Dortch and just potentially banking on someone falling? Because let's just say we take Joe Alt. We're not getting Roma Dunze. We're not getting Malik Neighbors. We're not getting Marvin Harrison. Who else are you going to take that you're like, okay, this is clear consensus wide receiver 1? I feel like we're just stuck in another position where it's like we don't have anybody. There's no weapons for Kyler.
Yeah.
You keep Kyler upright. Who's he throwing to?
So Deus here, very, very active in the chat, says Marvin Harrison Jr. is me first. Alt is team first. Thoughts?
I'm not drafting Alt to sit on the bench, though. I wouldn't have signed Jonah Williams. Now you're paying big time money to somebody. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
If we don't sign Jonah Williams, then it's a conversation. But we signed him to a 2-year. I can't see it. I feel like we signed him for a reason to start this season.
I agree. No, I agree with you. It would be not crazy, but it would get me to the point of asking myself, why did we get Jonah Williams if our plans were to get Joe Alt? Because it's not like we're debating, Joel, is he going to be there? Is he not going to be there? Joel's going to be there at 4. He's going to be there at 4. There's no way that the Patriots are going to throw a wrench in this road. And if they do, oh, wow, that's a big shock. But there's no way that they're going to go offensive line. No, they're either going to go wide receiver or they're going to go quarterback. I think it's quarterback personally. But like Joel's going to be there. Like, why risk it? You know what I mean? Go after, like, I don't know. I agree with you. Why would you get Jonah Williams? And that's the thing. Like, I'm not saying don't get offensive line. I think that's what people are kind of getting it twisted, because in the later parts of the draft, in the 27th overall, or even the 35th pick, you can either get Tyler Guyton if he falls, if Jordan Morgan falls. These are guys that can be plug and play players. They're probably not to the premier of Joel. I'm fully aware of that. But like, if you're looking for a guard, Morgan can play guard. Morgan can play guard and maybe can be the tackle of the future if need be, because he plays both. So like, I don't know. I can't see my first round pick riding the bench. I would hate that. I personally would.
Especially when the position that you like desperately need is right in front of you. If he does fall to 4.
Yeah.
It would hurt. It would hurt. I just can't see it. I think either we trade back or we take Marvin Harrison. I don't think there's another option on the table. I don't think anyone else goes at 4. I think it's Marvin Harrison at 4 or we trade back for a crazy haul. Doesn't happen with a crazy. If we don't end up getting that crazy haul, Monty's just going to take Marvin Harrison. It's not like he has to get rid of the pick either.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, we're just in such a bad position where blah, 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 and we have to get off this pick. Like, we're sitting so comfortable at number 4, and that's what people like don't realize. Like, I see Minnesota fans sitting here like tweeting like potential mocks or whatever. It's like, oh, we'll just give them 11 and 23 for the 4th overall pick.
Minnesota fans are
off with their
not even like
trade projections. Like, I'm not taking 11 and 23 for number 4 and letting you get who you deem like your franchise guy. Like, it's gonna cost another first, big dog. And if it doesn't happen, then sorry, guess what? Oh no, we get a generational wide receiver. People don't love that word, but I think this is like legitimately the best wide receiver prospect in a long time. So I am hard nosed on this. This is like the guy that I've been pushing probably since like week 7 or 8 of last season. Okay. I haven't changed my stance. Now we're in a position to get him. So now it's like, bring him here.
Let's do this. Let's continue to talk about the Cardinals. Let's continue this top 10 pick because we stayed at the card for quite some time. Let's go to number 5, shall we? Let's talk about the Cardinals. I'm sorry, the Chargers at 5, and then we'll come back to the Cardinals as well. So let's do that. So let's go to Chargers. Who do you think the Chargers are going to pick at 5?
I think the Chargers are going to trade out. I think this is going to be the first trade. I'm going to get a little bold here, and I'm going to say they end up trading with Minnesota, and Minnesota selects J.J. McCarthy.
Whoa. Okay. All right. That's I like that. I like that. Okay. So J.J. McCarthy in the top 5 of the NFL draft.
I don't know how we got here, but he's here. So
I mean, we've heard Harbaugh, we've heard the rumors out there. I don't blame you. I do think that there is going to be room to say, I'm going to disagree with you this time. The first time, I think it's going to be Neighbors. I think it's going to be Malik Neighbors. They don't have Mike Williams anymore. Keenan Allen got traded. They need to get a wide receiver. I get the haul seems great, but you have a quarterback that desperately needs weapons. And I think Malik Neighbors would fit like a glove over there. And it would be a good fit to me. I think they go Neighbors personally for the Chargers.
I'm not mad at that. I could see it either way. It just again, it just depends on the haul that they get because they literally shipped off Keenan Allen. Did they cut Mike Williams? They cut Mike Williams.
Mm-hmm. Yep, cut him, and then they traded away Allen. Yep.
So they have nobody. So either they trade back, or in like Prairie Rome Odunze falls or something, like we were saying earlier. But I don't think Rome Odunze falls.
Yeah,
I feel like Malik Neighbors, because let's just say hypothetically Malik Neighbors doesn't go here. Can you pull up the draft order real quick?
Of course.
I don't think. Oh, man. Because if the Giants are stuck here, they might just take Neighbors.
Yep.
Tennessee just signed Calvin Ridley. That doesn't make sense. Atlanta, I could see them taking one. I mean, there's a chance. I don't know who picks at 10, but there's a chance he falls.
Let's keep going.
Malik Neighbors. Yeah, let's keep it going.
Let's keep it going. All right, Giants, go.
So if J.J. McCarthy's off the board with the Giants, See, that's where it gets tricky. That's where it gets really, really, really tough. Because I want to say, dang, because the Giants got linemen too. They don't need. They got Andrew Thomas. I think you gotta dabble in with Malik Neighbors at
So
that
you got
point.
Malik Neighbors. Okay.
You got to. You got no weapons at this point.
See,
You
this
have
is funny because literally I think we swapped. This is
you
what I
got
think the
Jacob.
Giants are going to do. I think they're going to go JJ McCarthy. I believe the rumors. I believe the rumors out there that the Giants want to move off of Daniel Jones. Maybe not this year, but I think they truly want to move off of Daniel Jones. And I think somewhere in their contract they have some sort of out or some sort of way that they can. I don't know his contract, but I believe the rumors. There was a rumor out there that came out that said that the front office of the Giants were really, really mad that it was leaked out that they really liked JJ McCarthy. So I think it's going to be so literally we just swapped. That's it. That's all we did. We just swapped. So
I'm not mad at that though. I feel like both options are going to be on the table.
Yep.
It's draft season, baby. Anything can happen.
I'm telling you. One of us hopefully is going to be right. All right, let's move on over to the Tennessee Titans.
This is where Tennessee's line is abysmal. Abysmal. Cannot stand it. I feel bad for anybody who plays for Tennessee. Will Levis.
Yep.
Getting Joe Alt. Yeah. This is where he goes. Best lineman in the draft. I'm not a hater of Joe Alt. It just doesn't make sense for us. But Tennessee, go get your guy.
Yeah, that I agree with this. I feel like this is the prime example of where Joe Alt should go. The line needs work. And I do see in the comments here saying that the Giants O-line isn't like the greatest as well. But to me, if you have an opportunity to get your franchise quarterback or franchise left tackle, I feel like most fan bases, or not, I'm sorry, most organizations will go after the franchise quarterback if they truly believe that that's him. If they don't, I can see Joel coming here, especially if Malik Neighbors is no longer there. But yeah, that's the way I feel like it's going to fall. I do think it's going to be Joel here as well. So another agreement. We agree there as well. Perfect. Let's move on over to the next pick. And then we got the Atlanta Falcons next, which is kind of a wild card. What do you think?
I don't have a picture of this guy, but I think it's going to be Jared Verse.
Oh.
I think it's going to be Jared Verse. They're going to go get an edge and solidify that. Let me go ahead and pull up the picture real quick. I don't know why it didn't upload, but I think they're going Jared Verse, personally. Going and getting nice little edge rusher. Cannot complain.
So you got Jared Verse?
Yeah, because it can go. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? Who's the Alabama? Is it Dallas Turner?
Dallas Turner. I was literally going to say that was my pick.
Yeah, Dallas Turner. I mean, it's going edge. I don't know who.
Yeah.
Whatever one they're in love with at the time. But I'm feeling Jared Verse.
I don't hate that either. I think these are very, very good. I think Dallas Turner. I personally think that I think you're right on the edge position for them. But I think Dallas Turner for them personally. All right, let's move on over to the next pick here. We're almost done and we can focus on the Arizona Cardinals. I promise. We got Chicago and then we got the Jets at the end.
Chicago, I think it's easy.
Yeah.
At this point, I feel like it's going to be Roma Dunze.
Roma Dunze.
Because Keenan Allen's 32 years old. You'd ideally love to play DJ. Yeah, I mean, you can play DJ Moore in the slot, Roma Dunze outside, Keenan Allen outside, and then Caleb Williams is just stacked with weapons. Or you can run DJ Moore outside, have Roma Dunze play slot with Keenan Allen on the outside. Oh. And then you'd have a nasty trio, whatever way you want to play it. But, I mean, Caleb Williams would have no excuse. They got DeAndre Swift, Cole Kmet, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. That is probably, honestly, that's probably the best situation a rookie quarterback has ever been to.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably agree with you there for sure. Yeah, I think it is a Dunze. So, like, here's the thing, too. Like, if the Cardinals did decide to trade back, let's say we live in a world that they do decide to trade back, right? You need to get in front of Chicago, in my opinion, to either get a Roma Dunze. Do you agree with that?
100%. If he falls, they're taking him.
Yeah. Agree. Okay. Dang, I didn't think of that. If you put Keenan Allen in the slot, just like what Fitzgerald did for the Arizona Cardinals. because he's getting older. Put him in the slot. You put Rome Odunze on the outside, DJ Moore on the outside. That is nasty.
He might produce.
Nasty.
I
Wow.
mean, he
Okay.
always produces. Keenan Allen's one of the best receivers. Very
Yeah.
underrated.
All right. Last pick. Jets. And then we'll focus on the Cardinals, I promise. Then we can go back and forth in the chat, I promise.
This is so tough because I'm torn on two people. And I see you just uploaded the guy I was thinking about too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking there's two routes this is either going to go. I think the Jets will use this pick. And with the receiver gone, I'm thinking Brock Bowers.
Okay.
Go get him a tight end. Go get him a weapon. Get Aaron Rodgers somebody. Because they did sign Mike Williams. Right now you get him a tight end who is deemed to be one of the best tight end prospects of all time, which we heard with Kyle Pitts, but I feel like Kyle Pitts is just not used properly.
True.
But I think it's going to be Brock Bowers or the guy that you uploaded as well. I'm not going to spoil the pick.
Yeah, that's a good pick though. I don't, because they got Garrett Williams, Mike Williams. They got the Williams brothers over there. And then now adding Bowers there would be, yeah, that wait, is it Garrett Wilson or Garrett Williams?
Garrett Wilson.
Oh, it's Wilson. That's right. It is Garrett Wilson. I thought it was Garrett Williams. You're right. It is Wilson. So yeah, Garrett Wilson and then Mike Williams and then Bowers. 100%. I'm wrong. Okay.
I do like your pick though, because they did end up losing a guy in free agency that they let go. And this just makes sense.
Here it is. I think it's Olu Fashanu. I think it's Olu Fashanu to the Jets. The scarcity of having Aaron Rodgers being as brittle as a wafer. It's just getting him worse. He's getting older. He got hurt in the first 4 plays, the first drive, and you got to get him some help. Olu Fashanu, if he's there, you probably got to solidify that line for him, at least for me.
Do you think they dabble in on David Bakhtiari? The Jets? That's kind of what I was thinking. That's kind of what steered me away from Olu Fashanu. Because I was like, him and David Bakhtiari are
they know each other. That's true.
They're super locked in. And with the chance to literally just go there, and let's just say he can sign for like $8 million.
True. Well, right now, he's not there, right?
I don't think David Bakhtiari is a free agent.
I think right now, I would be confident with Olu Fashanu. If something changes, then I'll change my pick. But I think right now, I think it's Fashanu.
I'm not mad at that. I mean, that pick makes perfect sense. They just lost, who's a super tall dude? Why am I blanking? 6'7", right tackle, left tackle.
Mekhi Becton.
Mekhi Becton.
Yep.
They just let him go.
We got the guy Cards Fat says, yeah, we got Garrett Williams. You're right. That's why the name sounded so darn familiar. We got Garrett Williams. That's right. All right, perfect. All right, let's continue to talk about this Arizona Cardinal team, because I get this is the Cardinal channel, and I think most people want to focus down on that, and that's what we want to focus on now. We were getting a little deep into it. Now, real quick, I don't know if you'll know, everybody out there, but I got 4 draft hats. 4 draft hats. I'm actually giving some away here as well, to becoming like channel members here on the AC Sports Fan here on YouTube. And then I am giving away on X/Twitter. So if you are interested in a draft hat, check out my community tab, the AZ Sports Fan, and then all the information should be on there. Or you can go to X/Twitter, and then the information should be on there as well to be entered to win this. But let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals, shall we? So many different options, right? I saw somebody here in the comments saying that I think, let me see if I could bring this up, because where was it? Something about Benjamin Albright. Oh, was that his name? Albright?
Yeah, Benjamin Albright.
Yeah, where was it? Something about like he was the one who here it is. Agent 47. He says, that's not it. I'm sorry. Here we go. Benjamin Albright said Cards traded the Vikings. If in 2 weeks Cards work a trade to the Chargers, Cards get Harrison and draft capital. So I'm not sure if he's saying we are trading back, but trading back up. Have you heard anything like that?
I have. And what's so funny is I did one mock draft, or I made some video, and I was talking about this maybe like 3 weeks ago before it became like even a thing. And I was sitting here like just talking about like hypotheticals, and I'm like, okay, this is what we can do. And then I was like, wouldn't that be something? That'd be such a Monty move to just like trade out with the Vikings, go get that first round pick next year. Let's say you're land 3, and then trade back up. Just give that 11 and 23, get 5, lose those 2 first round picks, gain 1 next year, and then get your receiver still. Such a Monty move.
Well, you know, the funny thing is that like we are only in year 2 of Monty Austin for only year 2. So like it's so weird because like I know right now we're all kind of in the mode of like let's predict what this man can do. I still think he's as unpredictable as they come. Like I still don't know what he's gonna do,
I
right?
don't think
I
he
know
knows
what
what
I
he's
would
gonna
do.
do. I don't even
I know
think
what
he
I would
knows.
love to do, but you got to admit the fact that what we did last year might not be an anomaly, might be what the philosophy of what Monty can do, right? Because if you did trade back last year, we did it and we traded up and we still got our guy, right? Per them, we wanted to get Paris Johnson Jr. from the jump, and the Cardinals could potentially do that again. Would you be mad at that, right? Like, where do you see the Arizona Cardinals potentially trading back up? I think all of us would have a dream scenario to go to the Chargers, right? Because if
Yeah,
it is 4 quarterbacks, then we get our guy at Marvin. Do you think that's actually a realistic thing to happen for the Cardinals?
I do. I really do. I feel like the Chargers would take that. Obviously, it would probably take a little more than just 11 and 23 straight up, but I think the Chargers would consider it. And if we can walk away with the first round pick, I trust Monty. Like I
Yeah.
really do. Watching the War Room video of him in the draft room, just calling or whatever, he's just calm, poised. Seems like he has everything in check. Like he's gonna call around. Don't get me wrong. He's gonna make sure that he makes the best move possible. But the thing is, he's not gonna make a stupid move. He knows what's at pick 4. What's supposed to be at pick 4. It's supposed to be quarterback, quarterback, quarterback. Internally, they probably understand that's how it's gonna fall, and then we have everyone else on the board, right? We don't need a quarterback, so it works out so perfect. And it's like, okay, we don't have 3 first round picks on the table from Minnesota. They're not willing to give that up. I feel like he's just gonna hang up the phone, call around. New York, what are you willing to give up? Okay, not enough. Broncos, what are you willing to call? Not enough. I think it's gonna be Minnesota or nobody. Minnesota just has 2 first round picks this
Yeah.
year and the next one to give up. Denver has no draft capital. I mean, who else would trade up? The Raiders. It's just ideally it'd be Minnesota or Marvin Harrison. But whatever Monty does, like genuinely, whatever he does, I'm riding with it. I
Yeah.
trust him. I trust this man so wholeheartedly. So whatever happens, happens. Even if it's not Marvin Harrison, it hurt. It would hurt me a
Yeah.
lot. That'd be a stab in the heart because that's been my guy that I've been wanting forever. But I trust this man. I really do.
It's just if the Vikings are willing to give up 3 first-round picks to move to 4, and I get it, that's a big jump, but like, what are the Cardinals going to give up to move from 11 to 5? Like, I get it, we don't need a quarterback, but it's still having them jump pretty far back. Like, that's what I'm curious to find out because the Cardinals traded away their third last year
Mm-hmm.
to move to 6th, right? Am I correct?
I
If I can remember
believe
that, is that where we got Paris Johnson at the 6th overall? I think I'm kind of blanking, but I think that is okay.
6 or 7.
I think it's 6th. Fact check me though for sure. But like that's a difference between going to 5, right? So I don't know. It's gonna be fascinating. It's gonna be fascinating. I mean, I won't be mad at it. Like let's say even like the Cardinals still get Malik Neighbors. That would still be cool for me. I would like
Yeah,
that. If the Cardinals still get Roma Dunze, that would be cool. I would like that.
I
What
would
do you
not.
think of this? What do you think? Let's bring back this just draft order here real quick. What do you think of the Cardinals potentially trading back with the Giants? Do you think we're playing too much of a gambling game? Because if the Giants truly want to get JJ McCarthy, and we're not going to get as the biggest haul, that's for sure. But do you think that the Giants would be a little bit more confident or comfortable? Because if we go to the Giants, we're at least guaranteed one of the top 2 wide
Are we
receivers.
trusting Jim Harbaugh? Ugh, that's scary. That is scary. Because if the Chargers don't trade that, I think they genuinely take Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
I don't think they would trade it. Ugh,
Yeah,
that's so tough.
he says, yes, alt plus neighbors. Now you're talking. I don't
I
know.
don't think that's realistic. Yeah, that's just not realistic because you'd have to take.
Yeah.
God, I don't even know how you play that out. It'd have to
I
be
don't
all
know if you
4, and you'd
can.
have to trade back up to like 6, 5. You'd have to have 5 and 4 probably back to back to be comfortable.
Well, I mean, imagine what you have to give up to go that high. You can't go from 27 to, I mean, unless you're going to be giving up the farm, and I'm talking about next year as well. But like, I
Your
don't think
first
that's
and
something
then a
that Monty's
second.
going to do.
No chance. No chance. There's so many receivers in this class too that I think we might pick up 2 of them. I really think we might pick up 2 of them.
Here's the thing. Okay, so we're just spitballing. We're here. We're talking what we heard, right? Did you hear the rumor out there that the Chargers prefer Neighbors over Harrison?
Did they actually say that? Is that a rumor?
Yeah, I actually heard that. I actually heard that the
Wow.
Chargers preferred Neighbors over Harrison, and there was a video out there. There was a video out there of, don't look too much into this, but neighbors already looking for houses in LA, or meeting with the realtor in LA to potentially look for a home, right? Here's the thing. There's no way that the Cardinals go. This is kind of like the whole Joe Alt conversation that we had, right? There's no way that the Cardinals go. I don't think neighbors over over Marvin Harrison Jr., or at least to me, I don't think so. But like, that's why I'm so intrigued with the idea of the Cardinals trading back to the Giants, because maybe the Cardinals can get another second. I get it's not 3 first-round picks, but if we can get a second from the Giants just moving 2 spots, is that intrigue you at all?
Man, if that's the case, because I'm looking at this right now, Malik Neighbors looking for houses in the LA area while he's on a visit with the Chargers. Huh.
There
I
was
mean,
a video out of him. I mean, I'm not saying, maybe he just loves LA in general. And let's be honest, LA is it's a 30-minute flight, 45-minute flight from here. It's a 6-hour drive.
yeah,
If you got a really fast car, maybe a 4.5-hour drive. I don't know.
If you're criminally speeding,
If you're criminally speeding, not encouraging it.
which
I'm just saying.
we don't want him to pull a Hollywood. We want you to not do that.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like the options are there. Like, it's crazy to see how like this could potentially shake out here for the Cardinals. Cause like I said, I don't mind a trade back. I truly don't mind a trade back. It's just me and you. I think we're both in the same boat. I think we are trusting Monty. If this was Steve Keim, I think I would be treating this a lot different. I would be like,
I don't even think we'd be getting Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he'd, you know, Olu Fashanu is looking kind of nice. Number 4.
Don't even give him that much credit, man. Don't even give him going. I would say he's going to be picking somebody like, I don't know, like a linebacker somewhere. We're giving linebackers what we're going for.
God, dude. Like, just out of left field. Like, I'm not, like, genuinely, I don't hold him for the Simmons pick as much as I want to. I hold him for everything else. Like, there's so many things where it's just like, what are we doing? Like, I was praying we traded up for, I think it was Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson in the same class. And Deshaun Watson went like 1 pick above us. And I was like praying for a trade up because Deshaun Watson in Houston was phenomenal.
Oh, phenomenal. Yeah.
Phenomenal. Like, whatever happened after that, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that happened. He's in Cleveland, whatever. But in Houston, man, sensational. And then Pat Mahomes, I was praying, just somebody, just whatever, didn't happen. Didn't happen. I don't even remember who he took. I don't know why I'm blanking on that. Normally I'm on it, but it pissed me off so bad.
You know, the funny thing, I guess I can't remember. I completely blanked what you were saying. What year were you talking about? I think I can remember.
17?
17?
I think so. Let me look it up.
Well, we got Reddick.
Oh, we got Hassan Reddick. That's who it is.
17, yeah.
That's exactly what it was. And I was pissed off. I think Watson went 12. Oh my god.
Oh, now I remember. Bruce Arians wanted Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm. I was so set on just quarterback. But, like, I guess you can't really be mad because Budda Baker went second, which for some reason Steve Keim can hit on safeties in the second, third round. You got Tyrann Mathieu, you got Budda Baker. I guess for safeties, but nothing else. Because in the same draft, I remember this being a really bad draft. I think this is where we took Chad Williams.
Oh, good God, Chad Williams.
I think we took Chad Williams, and if you remember, like, TJ Logan.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I think...
Was it Chad Williams from, like, Grambling, or where was he from?
Chad Williams, like college?
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to Grambling.
Oh, my God.
And I believe he went in, like, if I'm not mistaken, like, middle third. So
he was picked up 98th. I just looked him up, and there's a video. Yeah, there's a video of him being picked 98th to the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh my goodness, jeez, dude, just such a I can't even go back and look at our draft classes because it's just like you'll have 1 hit out of 3 years and 7 picks. It's probably the most infuriating thing you could ever look at. Is just miss.
Yeah.
Like you might as well just have someone with no football knowledge be just like throwing a dart at a board. Like, oh, we're going to Clemson today. Who do we want from Clemson? Oh, we want this guy. Sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
got a better chance of letting Steve Kimes' drunk self behind that draft board ever again. I hope he never gets another job, dude.
I don't think he will, honestly. He was doing his rounds a lot with the Coward show. He's doing a lot of rounds. It's just I don't think he's going to. There was just so much drama, even outside the draft. Like just you can't have things like that happen here in the organization, and you're kind of seen to be one of the leaders. You can't have those stuff
The whole
happening.
Michael Floyd situation, but then he gets a short leash. Well, Michael Floyd is just gone.
Tampering, and it was rough, man. It's just a
Cell
weird
phone.
organization. Hopefully, we learn from it. That's all I can say.
Hopefully, Bidwell's gone too, but
Oh, don't get me started on that guy. But okay, I digress. Okay,
right.
Okay, so we talked about potentially trading back. I think we could both agree. I don't think none of us would be mad at it. Would it hurt? Yes, it would. But I don't think we would be mad at it. Got my guy Mikey saying Steve Keim was drunk at the Spurs. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's true. I mean,
Sure as heck seemed like it. I'll tell you that much.
let's go here with Daniel. He says wide receiver is a huge need. We need a double dip in the first 2 rounds.
I don't know if we need first two, but wide receiver is a huge need.
Yeah, it's a
If we
big
get
need.
to the top 3 rounds, I'm not mad. If we can get like Xavier Legette and then Marvin Harrison, just
Yeah. So here's the thing too. Like I ended up seeing this graphic, and I'm not mad at this graphic here at all. I get that. I don't mind the Cardinals doubling down. I truly don't mind the Cardinals. I want to make sure I'm very clear at that. But here is kind of Michael Wilson is going to be the kind of guy, the odd man out. Are you confident in Michael Wilson right now for the next year, or are you going to take a rookie? Like, what are your thoughts right now? And here's the graphic that I'm talking to you about. It's uploading right now, just FYI. It was actually released by, I believe, the 33rd team. So this is going to be the potential Arizona Cardinal offense, right? Kyler Murray, James Conner, Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, and Trey McBride. You get another wide receiver, especially that high in a, let's say, a Legette. Michael Wilson might be the odd man out. Are you okay with riding with Mike Wilson, or are you fearing injury is a big concern?
I mean, injury is a concern. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like he's a starter. There's so much talent in this draft, though. I do want to double down regardless because our depth is non-existent. So let's just say one of them goes down. Hypothetically, we got nothing. Like we really got nothing. Like what do we got? Andre, what's his name? Balci, whatever. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. Balciena.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm blanking on it. Like I know his name, but I just don't know it. But
isn't
like
it Bocelli? I don't know.
maybe Bocellia or something like that.
Yeah.
Who's on our roster right now?
Isn't it? Well, the only 3 that comes to my mind is Mike Wilson, Greg Dortch, and Zach Pascal. We have a lot of other people that like we kind of like to keep, but don't really give opportunities. And he's one of those guys that you're talking about. Let me ask you this. I ended up putting a mock draft here where the Cardinals actually trading up their 27th overall. And I got some good feedback, and I got a lot of bad feedback as well. So what are your thoughts here on this? Where I ended up saying the Arizona Cardinals could potentially get a wide receiver 1 and a CB1. And I'm going to take off this ticker here so you can see with the bottom. I didn't put the entire draft on here because there were some other people, but I did focus on Cardinals or players that the Cardinals have met with already on here. So I do have the Cardinals doubling down in wide receivers, but instead of going, in the top, like, I guess technically Brendan Rice is still a 3rd round pick. So I got Marvin Harrison Jr. We traded up for Terry Arnold, and that was the biggest issue that people had. But we get a CB1. We got Braden Frisk, interior defensive lineman. We got Braylon Trice, edge, Christian Haynes for guard, Brennan Rice. And then Jarvis Brownlee is a guy that the Cardinals met with. And then Christian Boyd is also another player that the Cardinals met with as well. So what are your thoughts on this? Do you think the Cardinals trade up with the 15th? Is it not that high? What are your thoughts?
If we can land this, this is so... I will love this. Love this.
Okay, so you're not mad at it. Okay. Well, here's the thing. This is my mind process. This is what I really want to focus people to focus on is what the trade happened, right? So the trade is the Cardinals go to 15. So essentially we swap with the Colts, our 1st round picks. And not just that, we give them some enticement by also swapping our 2nd rounds. So they get the 35th, we move to 48th, so they can get whoever the heck they want in the top of the 2nd, and then we give them a 3rd next year. But here's the thing, you're guaranteeing a guy that you really, really like and that met with at least twice in Terrion Arnold. If you feel like Terrion Arnold is your CB1, I feel like this is going to be a cool opportunity for the Cardinals to get that. Now, I get it. We have a huge hole at edge. I did put Braylon Trice in there, but the Cardinals have met with them as well. So, like, that's what my mind process was. But one of the biggest knocks people were saying was, why would you trade up for Terrion Arnold if maybe Nate Wiggins falls to us, Kool-Aid falls to us, something like that? What are your thoughts in terms of like maybe just sitting and waiting at 27 compared to just trading up?
I think Arnold is just a better prospect than both by a landslide. I feel like Arnold will come in here and be the perfect corner. Nate Wiggins has weight problems, weight concerns. I think he's like 165 pounds at like 5'11.
Whoa, I didn't know that. Oh, really?
If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong on a little bit of the measurables, but he's not super big. And then what is it, Emmanuel Forbes, who was taken by the Commanders? I mean, he was getting benched, but that's Ron Rivera.
True.
Thank God he's gone.
He's 6'2", 185.
Okay, 6'2", 185. I got it wrong, but I mean, 185 for a corner is still very light.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, Nate Wiggins, fantastic football player. I'm not knocking him. I mean, it's not the most insane thing to pack on 10 pounds.
Right.
Especially at the NFL level. But I feel like just Terrion Arnold is that guy. Like Kool-Aid, I feel like is all right. I feel like the name, like I genuinely do, I feel like the name kind of intrigues everybody and they kind of look past. I think Kool-Aid goes second round.
Yeah.
I really do. I think Kool-Aid goes second round.
I agree with that.
Talent. I feel like he's great. I feel like he's good. Not great, but I feel like he's not even the best Alabama corner.
Terrion Arnold is
by a landslide.
Yeah. So that's what my mind process was as well. Like if you're going to sit and wait for your cornerback at the 27th, you're probably going to be with the Nate Wiggins, which, you know, if that's what you're cool with, cool. Okay, I guess. And then, you know, Kool-Aid, which his draft stock has taken a big hit. Although in the beginning of the draft, people were really liking him. But like, I think Terrion Arnold is probably the best cornerback. And the Cardinals met with him in the combine. And I think they also had a top 30 visit with them as well, or at least they're going to. So that's why I'm like, if you want to get your quarterback one, this would help out. I get edge has been abandoned, but you're still getting a guy that has 8+ sacks this last year, and Braylon Trice coming out of Washington. So I don't know. I kind of feel like this works out. If the Cardinals do trade up for somebody, who would you want the Cardinals to trade up? Chop Robinson? Is there a player out there, or is it Terrion Arnold for you?
It's Terrion Arnold. I mean, I kind of talked about it like very, very briefly on this, but it's Terrion Arnold. We can trade back up to like 15 to 20 and draft Arnold and land Marvin Harrison Jr. I think that is like the most ideal situation you could imagine. You're filling massive hole in defense, massive hole in offense, and then through the rest of it, you can address things like edge, guard, center, defensive line, whatever you feel, but you just address two of the biggest like needs on this team. And then the other one outstanding is edge.
Yeah.
Which there's a lot of edges you can get in round 2 and 3. So if that's the position we get, then Monty Austin-Fort, love it. But if we land someone like Kool-Aid in the back, and I'm not going to necessarily hate it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
But I mean, I don't know. Just from what I see on tape, Terrion Arnold is just that guy. I've been pretty right about corners the past couple of years too. Like I've been pretty spot on. Like I said, J.C. Horn was going to be good. J.C. Horn is good when he's healthy. Pat Surtain, I wanted so bad. I wanted Pat Surtain so bad, but it just didn't happen. And I mean, the Broncos just don't even want him. It seems like they're just trying to get rid of everybody, but they kept him. So
the only way I would even consider trading with the Broncos is they adding in a Patrick Surtain over on that trade. That's the only way I'm even humoring the Broncos. Although, like Sean Payton was very smug. Oh yeah, it's realistic. Is it though? Is it Sean Payton? Is it realistic for you to jump? Because they don't have a lot of draft capital to give anybody, not just us. I'm not saying we're the end all be all. You got to trade with us and that's it. No, there's other teams you could trade with. It's just it doesn't seem like draft capital wise they got that amount. But
no.
All right. We are going to close up shop here. We are hitting the hour mark. If you guys did enjoy the show, do me a huge favor, smack up the like button. Also, if you're watching on X/Twitter, make sure you follow the Big Red Pod here on Twitter. We're going to be going live more than you know. So definitely go ahead and subscribe it up if you haven't done so already, or shoot us a follow. We're going to be closing up shop. Any last thoughts you have here on Mythic before we close up shop?
Man, that's about it. Drop your guys' predictions in the comment section below on when this goes live on your guys' top 10 as well. Curious to read through some of those. Appreciate everybody for tuning by, stopping by. Great podcast, man. Great, great,
Absolutely.
great.
All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Cards.